Okay.
And so in that training video, I was going over support and resistance and how to analyze those levels and see how the trades respond at certain levels. So
Well, we're gonna find out.
yeah, it was pretty interesting, and I'm gonna try to do this a little more, where I analyze the level in advance and see what price does. You know, just try to anticipate what price is going to do at a certain level, and then just watch it. So we can go ahead and get started. Start by taking the spreadsheet. I was off, but I still took a couple trades on Friday, and I took an Australian USD. No, actually, what did I take? I didn't update them yet. Let me look at my screen here. I took a pound yen, Australian USD, and a Euro USD. So those went pretty well. I took the pound yen on Friday, and you can tell me what you guys took, but you can see my line here. Let me zoom up. I took this long. I drew this area here for support and resistance. So when we go back and look at it, I took the entry right here. And it was really nice because it went right back into the moving average. So my timing wasn't perfect, but this little level here held my stop loss, and it ended up being a really nice winning trade. So that was good. The other trade I took was the Australian US dollar, and that trade was a breakout again of this level, and you can see it went to my stop loss pretty quick. Or not stop loss, take profit, which was right here. And then I took a euro dollar, and that trade ended up being a loser. Just retraced and went right back into the stop loss. So, but overall 2 out of 3 on Friday, so it was pretty good.
Yeah, and big wins.
Yeah, so with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look and see what kind of news we have on the agenda. No news today. And, you know, I would just say that in this month will probably be pretty safe, but I would say next month you want to be careful trading, like especially on the day of the election, because it could get a little crazy. You know, you might see like a million pip move in one day. Do you remember 4 years ago when Trump ended up winning? Do you remember what happened to the
Yes, I made a lot of
currencies?
money.
You did.
Yes.
Okay, so how did you play that, John?
I think I traded the Euro US dollar all the way up, then I traded it back down.
Okay, well, perfect. So
And it was a large move. It just kept going.
yeah, the thing is though, for me that was really bad timing because of my time zone. I don't know what it might have been
Okay.
bad for you too, but for us it was really late, like in the middle of the night. So I didn't trade it, but I did notice it, and it was crazy.
You had to catch that turnaround, otherwise you would have lost everything you just won.
Right, you have to actually be in front of the chart because you can't plan that because it was just it was up, then it was down, huge moves. So there was no news there, nothing for us to get worried about there. But I would just be alert that with this time of year, with the election, and just there's always the possibility for some crazy stuff to happen. So just be ready. Okay, so the dollar is weak and the euro's weak. So that's one of the reasons why the euro dollar didn't really follow through and the other dollar pairs did, because of this. So you can see that the euro's pretty weak. So euro yen sell, euro pound sell, euro CAD sell, USD yen sell, and pound dollar buy. Pound is pretty strong, yen is strong, Swiss franc is strong, New Zealand, and the CAD. Australian dollar's flat. So let's go ahead and jump into the charts. And one of the things I wanted to review was this support and resistance training. So I had identified this support level right here. You notice that there's a lot of support here. Well, it was resistance at one time. It went up, it rejected it, resistance, and then it broke through finally. Had quite a few different touches. And then here it was responding to this level many times right here. I'm going to zoom up a little bit. And so finally it was right here. So what I did was I drew a zone, and it's gone now. I just went here and here and I inserted a shape. I put this little triangle and I said, okay, this is the level. I want to see what happens when it gets here. Okay, and so it did. And what I ended up doing is I shorted right here because I saw that it broke this level. It went back up, and then on a retest, I shorted. But I drew this actual green area in advance, and you could actually see that if we go. I'm actually going to pull up the video because you guys could kind of see what I was looking at. Let's see here. Hey guys, Casey here, and so I'm gonna pull this video up just to show you guys what I did. So I drew these two zones right here. I drew a zone here and a zone here. And I was just saying, okay, this is the support level, this is the resistance level. And let's see what happens to these charts to the price when we get to those levels. And I did the same thing on a US dollar or USD CAD chart. If I can, oh yeah, here's the USD CAD one. I did the exact same thing. And I said, see, price was right here. And I said, what's going to happen when price came down here? Right? And so I was analyzing, and I had the box drawn, and I knew what I was looking for. I was either looking for a bounce or some kind of breakout. And here's what we have now. We had this breakout. And if we go to the euro, I had for some reason my boxes disappeared. But I don't think I got rid of them. Oh, here they are. So here's the boxes here on this one, right? And so what happened? It hit this level, and you notice it dropped right away. So if you even were scalping this, you could take a short right on this level as soon as you got a little bit, because it dropped down 12 pips. I mean, that's not a huge trade, but it did react. It wasn't a huge rejection, but it did react. And so here's another rejection, right? And so yes, the euro has been pretty weak, and the dollar's been weak. But right now we're actually getting a bounce off this moving average and a nice pin bar. So I'm actually going to go ahead and take this trade here. What do you think about this setup, John, as a bounce off of this?
Oh, I like it. Now, last night I traded it down after it closed up. It gapped down on Sunday, then it closed it. So I took that off the support up there, or resistance.
Oh, you took it off of this. Yeah.
Yes, that was last night at 11 o'clock for me.
Okay.
And I went to bed after that, and I woke up and found some money in my account, so I was happy.
Oh, there you go. That's the way to do it. Okay, so I'm going to take a picture and add this in.
And the euro US dollar loves those morning stars and evening stars, so looks like that's what it's forming.
Okay. Are you talking about the combination of this pin bar and
Yes,
this bullish candle? That's
the
called.
3-bar combination.
It's a 3-bar.
Yeah,
It's this one here.
yeah, and then the pin bar, and then the other bar.
Okay. Excellent. Okay, so you know what's really funny, John?
Yes.
Is Robert is telling me that today's a holiday. I have no idea what he's talking about. Can you fill me in, please?
I didn't know anything about a holiday either. I never get a day off.
Oh, TJ's okay. TJ says it's Columbus Day. Now, I'll just tell you that that is not a holiday. I mean, I don't think anyone takes that off. I mean, I know I just took my kids to school, so if the kids are going in, it can't be a holiday, right?
Yep.
Oh, well, the banks are closed. Okay. So I think the markets will probably still be pretty active today, but I could be wrong. Maybe traders and stuff will take Columbus Day off too. I don't know. All right, so if I just do a little bit more analysis on this euro, it's an uptrend on a daily time frame. It broke over this 50 period moving average here on the daily. It broke above that pretty strong, and then it's been retesting. It went down a little bit, and then now we're in this zone. You can see there's a support zone over here. There's a support zone here, and it's bounced off this level, have a little bit of upward movement here. I have my target up here about 15 pips to the top. If we get any more momentum, if it like really starts moving up, I might move this up even higher. It could definitely, the next level that I really have in here is at the top of this, and I think it definitely could get up here. So,
if this is a holiday, yes, it could.
You think the market moves better on holidays? So if there's less trading, what does that usually do in your
well, I figure we're going to go sideways, so it's just going to meander around or probably do a triangle and go back to the top.
Okay.
Or there's a diagonal line at the top too, I see. So it could just go to that, which would be just under your target.
Okay, so you're talking about this, right? Like if I draw something like this?
Yes.
Yeah, actually, that is right on there. Yeah, we
just something to be aware of.
Yeah, we actually do have a little bit of we have this channel. I guess you could, there's always different things you can draw. But I do like channels as well. So if it does continue to break this line though, right up here is a really good area.
Oh yeah.
And so the question is, how do you actually get to it? How do you trade it? How do you make money on it? That's the hard part. Okay, well, let's keep looking. I was looking at the USDCAD, and let's look at this on the daily. So here's was my first support level, and it broke, and then I drew this line, And it's amazing. The thing went right to it, right? And then it bounced, just a little tiny bounce. And then today it's trying to bounce again. So let's look at it here. So we're in a tight little range here. So I think that this would be a nice little pattern here. Anything that breaks either out of the top of this or out of the bottom would probably be a decent trade. So this was, I don't really see anything that I want to get in as of right now, but this has been a really good pair. We got a breakdown here, really nice move. You see how nice that was? And then earlier I was trying to get this short into this zone, and I actually didn't get it, but I was watching it and just didn't have the time. This happened too early in the session for me, but it went right up to the top of that 200 period moving average, set up a nice pin bar, and then it just took off to the downside. Okay, let's look at pound yen. Okay, so pound yen is now testing this support level. Okay, so it busted out really high, and it didn't quite cross above this 50 period moving average, but it broke this level because it tested 1, 2, 3 times, and then finally it broke on the 4th one, and now it's right here again. So let's take a look at it on an hourly time frame. Very similar looking setup to the euro. It's not quite as good on the follow through here because it's got this rejection, but I'm going to actually grab this one too. I like this setup. Yeah,
it does look good.
I'm going to take a picture here of this one also, because I always take a picture of everything.
And you also have a diagonal line through there at the same time for confirmation.
I will. Is it the same as the? Let me take a look at it before I do anything here. What are you referring to? You talking about
from the bottom pin bar
like this,
up to where you're at?
Like this type of line?
Yeah. Yeah, it goes all the way back.
That's a nice trend line bounce, and I like those a lot.
Just one more confirmation.
Yeah. Okay. Euro. Let's see here. Oh, looking good so far. Hopefully we get a little bit more here. It is downward. It is still in a down move. That's the one thing that I don't like. It hasn't actually broken the downward momentum yet. It's just trying to break it now and switch. Still in a downtrend, essentially, with the current price action. So, well, that's the one negative thing. Did you just take a trade?
No, I closed my Euro US.
The short or the short one?
No, I took the long with you.
Oh, you closed it for a little small gain?
Well, when it gets down, before I go to zero, I want to get out.
That's actually really smart. You can get back in later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just how I trade. I don't take a chance.
No, that's actually really smart. I like doing that too. It reversed quickly. something crazy is happening here. Okay. All right, so pound yen is starting to bounce, so it was just in profit for just a minute. And I'll keep my eyes on it. We've got this trend line support. If this trend line goes out, I'll close it right away. And so that would be able to make my loss a little less. And Euro is, it went up and now it's kind of deciding what it wants to do. So let's keep looking around and see if there's anything else going on. See what the Australian USD is doing. So it's interesting how all these pairs are doing the same thing. This one, broke this support area, this resistance, went down, tested it, and now it's bouncing. And then this one is pretty nice bounce. It didn't quite go to the 50 period, but it respected this level, which was right over here. And the thing I like about it is there's 3 pin bars here. 1, 2, 3, and now it's taken off. So I'm actually going to grab this one now. So I'm done for the day. I've got 3 trades, and so I'm just going to manage these. Now, like, I can always close them early, or, you know, like what John did, and get back in. If you could, you know, if you do that multiple times, it doesn't really hurt anything because you can take a bunch of small trades. And you'd be shocked, those small trades add up. As long as you don't take big losers, you know, you're going to be fine if you do that. You could take 10 small winners like that in a day and do really well. Okay, let's see here. All right, well, let's go ahead and look at the euro yen, daily time frame. So let's see what we got here. So there's a support level right up here at 125.67, and then there's kind of a few levels in between that, but I'm just going to put it right here on this top one. And then right now we're currently at a resistance, or support rather. There's a resist because we have this level here, 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 and then we're just bouncing off of this, right? So you can see we're still in an uptrend. It went and hit a new high here, and then now it's rejected and it's bouncing. So the good news about this trade for me is saying, okay, if the euro yen bounces, that'll definitely help the euro dollar, just because it's euro getting a little bit stronger. So So this is a key level, and so we like to combine our price action at these levels and see what happens. Australian dollars getting beat up on me. Let's see here. I like where I have this support, my stop loss. I think it's a good level. If this level goes out, then I definitely don't want to be in that trade. And euro is bouncing a little bit. So we got the trend line. Is there a trend line on this one? So John, you primarily trade the euro dollar. Is there any other pairs that you like to trade?
Sometimes the USJPY.
Okay, let's take a look at that one.
Sometimes they're similar, sometimes they're complete opposites. So.
Okay, I kind of like this this formation we're seeing here on the daily. The thing about the US yen is it sometimes really crawls. Like look at these tiny little candles here. So if it's not moving, it's kind of a pain unless you like to just do range scalping, which might be good. But this right now just broke, and it looks like it could have some more of a down move here. Cross below the 50. We're moving down. We have this level that just got broke. So it looks like there's another level down here. Could get down here possibly. From one range to the other. Okay, so so John, what I think I'm going to do here is eliminate some of my risk because I don't want to take a big fat loss. So I'm going to tighten this stop loss right up here because we're getting a nice little bounce here. Eliminate some of this risk. So now it's only 2.3. And if I break this level, I might tighten it even more. Pound yen. Let's see what this one's looking like. Oh, I'm getting some more info too. It's Thanksgiving in Canada.
Uh-oh.
I didn't know that. That's probably why Corey didn't come in today.
Yeah.
Okay, Euro is doing pretty good, and testing this high right here.
Yeah, on the Euro US, I got back in at the break of the 150 on the 15, so.
Right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And right now it's bouncing off the 150, so we'll see if it goes. But for me, if it goes back underneath the 150, then I'm going to close it again. Just take the small loss.
That's the way to do it. Take them small. But I think I just got, yeah, I just broke my level. So guess what? I'm moving.
Oh yeah, there it goes.
I'm moving it. I'm moving it, my risk. So I got no risk on this trade now, which is nice. And pound is making money, and the Australian's looking decent. Okay, so I got a question here about backtesting and using simulators. So demo trading is what I would call a simulator, which is when you're using practice money. And I would say that it's a pretty good idea just for the main reason to test your strategies and just to get comfortable trading, to get familiarized with the platform, to make sure that you can make money, right? There's no reason to actually trade unless you actually know what you're doing is working. So there's nothing wrong with doing demo trading. I think it's a really good thing. You want to test your strategy, see if you can make money consistently for a long period of time. You know, try 30 days, 60 days and see what happens. I also would say backtesting is a good idea too, because you can go back and see if something works. You know, test your strategy, like the last 30 trades, tested the last 60, and just see what it does. But ultimately, the best kind of testing is forward testing, which is where you write your strategy out and then you take the trades live and you see how it actually works. Okay. Let's take a look at pound Australian. Okay, it's really flat. Really, really, really flat. Not a lot of movement at all. And today, on the daily time frame, let's zoom this up a little bit. It's trying to break yesterday's high, which was here. It actually already did that. And now it's trying to break the 50 period moving average. But you can just see it's all flat. It's really flat. And even on the hourly, you see how twisted up these moving averages are. It just doesn't do big, hasn't been doing much. Yeah, sometimes, you know, in demo, there's no emotions. And so, you know, you got to take that into account, because managing your emotions is one of the hardest parts about trading, right? So you have to learn how to manage your emotions, and you can't learn that so much in demo. But you can learn how to use the platform, how to trade your strategy, how to set up a stop loss, how to set up a take profit, because when you first start trading, you don't know how to do any of that stuff. Like these platforms, they're you know, there's a learning curve to them.
Now, there are some demos that actually let you pick an amount, so you can pick the same amount that you actually want to normally trade instead of like a $50,000 account.
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense to trade $1 million or whatever if you're not actually going to trade $1 million. Like I have a demo right now. They get, they give you crazy amounts of money. Okay, yeah. I just made him $50 million today. Well, yeah, that's nice. But yeah, you're right. It would be good to use the amount that you're actually trading with. Well, yeah, the thing about backtesting that can be, you just want to make sure that backtesting is not used to really get the final idea. It's kind of a starting point, right? You basically backtest it to say, okay, this would work, yes or no. Some people go really intent when they're backtesting, and it kind of messes up they optimize it, and they do curve fitting. They do a lot of different things to make the backtest look perfect because they adjust it to fit the market conditions. But if you do that, you're going to be setting yourself up for failure. Yeah, so I like to look at the daily chart just to get a general picture, and then I take my entry on the 1 hour time frame. And I always use the 50 period moving average, the 150, and the 200, just to kind of give me an idea of trends. And also, it's a lot of times has good support and resistance areas. Like example, this worked really well on this euro. Had I been trading an hour earlier, this might have been a nice place to get an entry. I would probably already be out of the trade right now had I gone long right here. Crude oil's weak today. Thank you for sharing that, Robert. Since yeah, all my moving averages are all simple moving averages. And it's the 50, the 150, and the 200. And today I'm going to be doing some calls with everybody that signed up for me, so I'm really looking forward to that. If you look at my calendar, I'm going to be talking all day. All day long I got calls with people. So, looking forward to that. Going to help people set up their roadmap, their trading roadmap, and I'll show you what it kind of looks like. I think it's good to have a long-term plan, a long-term goal, and just kind of use your current stats to help you gain an understanding of what you could set up your potential goals. And so when I say your current stats, I'm talking about if we look at break my monthly stats down here, your average win versus your average loss, right? Those are the stats that I'm looking for. And then your winning percentage. So if you look in September, I took 52 trades. My average win was $39. My average loss was 25. So it was a really good month. And my winning percentage was 51%. Now, my July had a 72% winning rate, but that was only 11 trades. John, what's your winning percentage these days?
Let me see. It is. That would have to be on the, let me pull it up real quick. I didn't have my sheet up. It is 78.45.
That is phenomenal. Is that how many trades do you have?
Oh, that wasn't for the month. That's the whole.
That's total?
Yeah.
Wow, that's really good.
I don't know how I would separate it for the month. I have to do like you do. I need to do it like that. The way you have it on yours where it's all separated, I like that. I have to do that.
You know, I actually stole that from Isaac. He did that. So
well, yeah, I'm going to steal it from you. So.
It's a little more work, but I like it. It lets me know what I'm doing currently.
Sure, it's great information. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just look at the bank account.
Well, there you go. But the 78% is really good. That's really good.
And the reason for me that's happening is I'm gone back to cutting my losses short.
So kind of like what you just did. You didn't even.
Yes, exactly.
You didn't let that thing turn into a loser.
No.
Right. Yeah.
Now, but I'm going to lose out on some winning trades like the Euro US. It went down below the 150 and I got out again. So I just figure it's meandering. I'd rather lose $10 than lose more. So it's better take that loss and just stay out.
So are you out now?
Yeah, now I'm out.
You're out. Okay.
But now look, it's taken off. I'm missing out on that. So.
Yeah. But see, you're cool with it though, because you're not you're not FOMOing.
No, because I got all day, got all night, got London.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't always trade all three. I trade till I win, till I get maybe $200, $100. Even $100 is good because I'm running 3 different accounts. So it gets copied into all 3 accounts.
And that adds up. What do what do you use? You said you use a trade copier?
Yeah, Synergy.
Okay, have to take a look at that.
But it's a lot of money for something you don't need because you have Epic. So I mean, it's almost like Epic, but as a trade copier. But yours is so well because it's right here on the chart. So you probably have to get away with maybe a different trade copier. There's so many out there.
Yeah.
But you want one that's going to be able, for each account, I'm able to trade a different percent.
Because of different account sizes?
Some accounts are larger or have more leverage.
Yeah. Okay, so Euro just broke a new high. Let's take a look at it on the hourly time frame. So that's a nice hourly bar. Like that's a nice looking bar. Still has this little level. There's a little level right here. It's coming up to it right now. And what's nice is it's also this Australian's looking good too. You notice it closed over these two. There were 3 pin bars here, 1, 2, 3, and then this candle closed above. So both of these are looking pretty good. You know, Chris, I actually don't trade gold. I can pull it up and take a look at it. I don't trade gold or oil, mainly because they just they're just harder for me to trade, and so gold has been a really nice trade. If you look back here in June, it was at 1600. Up to 2000. I mean, if we look at gold, man, let's look at this. It's literally at the all-time high right now. Wow. That's something to think about. 2015, it went down to 1,000. Went down in half. You know, some people just buy gold, right? Like every week. They put money in gold every week. Kind of like, I mean, that just makes sense, really. Because if we look at this on a long term, you know, if you're buying gold every week, you're just accumulating. And then when it finally makes this big move, you know, if you're buying gold down here, let's say you're buying from 2011 all the way every week, you're putting a couple $100 in gold or whatever just as a savings account. When you're buying it really cheap up here, imagine how much money you have right here. I mean, it's a really smart way it's a great long-term investment plan. I know people that do that. I mean, it's not as good as trading, but it's still really smart. So if we look at it right now, I like this a lot. It looks like this is a really good, to me, this looks like a great long setup. I think we got a weekly pin bar, another bullish. If it breaks anything above here, I think we're going right back to the highs. Just to me, that looks like a really nice trade.
Now, what's the spread on gold? It's pretty high, isn't it?
Let's take a look at it. So
I think that's why I stopped trading it.
1927.38, 27. So it's about 30 cents.
Okay, that's not bad.
It's not terrible. I mean, it's harder to scalp, I think, with a 30-cent spread, like for scalping. You know, if you're trading that on a 1-minute chart. But I think on an hourly or 4-hour time frame, it's probably not bad. So right now, I like this setup on gold too. I think it would probably be a pretty good setup. All right. I think gold is a good trade personally. I would go long, put my stop down here somewhere, and let this thing ride. But with that being said, let's take a look at some of my other trades. Euro dollar. It is flying high right now.
On the 15, it's hitting the 50, so.
Okay, let's take a look at that. Yeah. How far am I? Come on, man. Just grab that. Just grab that little.
You go up there.
Little take profit. Yeah, Queen, I don't even look at pips. I mean, I look at pips a little bit, but really, pips don't mean much to me. I just care about money.
That's what I tell everybody.
Yeah, because I know you could the pips are a little misleading because you could actually, I make 50 pips, but then you could actually lose money and make pips. Did you know that, John?
Oh yeah.
I've done that many times. And then some days I lose pips and I make money. Well, how is that possible? Well, I hit a 10 pip trade for $70 and I lose a 40 pip trade for $10 and it shows that I lost 30 pips and I still made 40 bucks. So, I mean, that happens to me all the time. So you could ask these guys and say, "Oh, yeah, I made 50 pips, but you lost money, so who cares?" Okay, so there's so I did the spread up here by looking at this, but guess what? The Epic tool has the spread inside.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if I can figure out where that's at.
I just couldn't read it on your gold chart.
Well, I didn't have it on there. So show spread is
Oh,
true.
okay.
I'm going to add that in there. Okay, so now current spread. So I can go back and save this as a default. So there it is, spread 30, 35, 32 points. This actually has the pips right here too as well. My take profit is 23 points according to this, which I don't know why it says that because I'm showing 159 unless 20 maybe I don't even know what this means. TJ, what does this mean? Okay, let's go, guys. Let's cheer this thing on.
It's almost there. Come on.
John, you can watch us make money and be happy for us.
Yeah, and I will
you're
be.
not in the trade. No, you're doing such a good job. You're really doing well.
But I'd definitely be looking for the sell in a little bit.
Yeah, I'm actually, you know what? At some point, I get a little bit. I guess you would call it a little greedy sometimes because I'll be like one pip away and I don't close it and then it reverses, and I just hate
Oh, I
that.
close as soon as I can. Sometimes I just have a number in my head. I want to make $50 and I just close it.
Yeah.
I think it's important to do that so they don't come back on you all the time.
Right. I mean, look at this thing,
because they know where that trend line's at. They know kind of where your take profit is.
Yeah. When I see momentum like this thing's pretty nice. But again, this is a nice looking candle, and sometimes that means it's going to keep moving. Like if you look at this one here, it kept moving, but it took a while. Like, because people are taking profit right here. They're like, okay, people like me and John, and we know people like John are definitely taking profit. So sometimes you just need to take your profit.
Yeah, but you've already proven the way you trade works. So, I mean, there's no reason to change it.
Well, it does work, yeah. And everything's a balancing act. You know, sometimes you hold off and get the extra profit, and sometimes you move your stop and get some profit, and sometimes you don't. It's all a balancing act. So what I do, I just got a question here about support and resistance. what I do to draw my support and resistance, I always use a daily time frame. And so if you'll notice, I just use this blue line here at the tops of the candles. And I don't really have a hard rule, right? Somebody asked me that too. Do you have hard rules? Yes, I do, but it's kind of discretionary. I just put my support level in the spot that looks good to me. And it's the top of these candles. Sometimes I'll use wicks and sometimes I'll use candle bodies. It just kind of depends on what fits best. Because in my opinion, support and resistance is usually not a single pip. It's usually like a zone. And sometimes you'll see the level will react sooner, sometimes later, sometimes to the pip, sometimes it won't. It won't make it to the zone. It turns earlier, or sometimes it goes past the zone and then turns. And so I don't really have a clear rule, but I go on to the daily and I just draw the line. So this is my resistance point, okay? And then I look for the bottoms. So I see a bottom here, bottom here, bottom here, bottom here. So this is my bottom line. So right now, here's the zone we're in, okay? And so if it breaks out of the top of this one, I don't really know where it can go when I say this top, because I don't see anything else. So we have to go over a little bit, and then we have another level over here. There's one here, and then one up here. So now that I have that, here's the next level. And so that's just something you need to keep your eyes on. Okay. So pound yen is doing pretty good now too.
Yeah, it's pretty funny about the levels, because I was looking at that going, that's how I do it too. Then I think back, wait a minute, you taught me that 8 years ago. That's not fair.
Wow, that's a long time, John.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Well, I remember you always talked about the 3 bullets. I always liked that.
Yeah, that definitely works if you can manage it well.
Yeah, you got to divide them up a little bit.
Yeah, and it's again, that's a balance, because I was actually just having that conversation with somebody else, another trading friend of mine who he does that strategy, and it works, and it works for him. And the problem with it is, and again, there's nothing wrong with it because I've used it a lot. The problem with it is you're actually shrinking your first trade. So if your first trade's a good trade, then you're not making as much money on it, because you have to make it. So to fit within your risk parameters, you have to take a smaller trade on the first one. And if you're right, you make less money. And so that's kind of the drawback for that. Okay, well, I am going to close out for today, but I will keep you guys all updated on the trades. Right now I have a euro, which is giving back some of the profit right now. Still up. I'm going to lock in a little bit more. I'd hate to get this hit, but it's still making money. So, you know, if I make this money on it, that's a winning trade. I can't complain about it. Obviously, I want to go and bounce here, but we'll see what happens. But I'll keep you guys updated on how I do. managing the trades is really important. I'll continue to go through and explain some things about how I like to manage my stop loss, and everybody's got different methods. You know, John does his differently than I do mine, and they all work really well. If once you get, they don't all work well, but once you get a few, there's a lot of different methods that do work well, and you can find one that works for you. So I'm going to be managing these trades. If I can get a little bit more on this pound yen, it keeps trying to break. If I could get it to go above this next level, it hit a high right here, but if I can get it to break this high, I am going to move my stop, lock in some profit. If it can go
Well, it is a
back.
holiday, so get what you can.
That's a good advice. It's a holiday. The markets, you know, Canada's closed today. Banks are closed, so it could be a lesser day. All right. Well, thanks, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much. Please make sure you hit me up with any questions you might have. And John, thanks for hanging out with me
Thank you,
today.
Casey. Thank you, everybody.
All right. We'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.